Hi there, my name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing well. Today is Monday again, and it is December the 2nd. Wow. It's approaching that time, people. I'll turn my mic up a little bit. Give me 1 second. Say hi, introduce yourself, let me know where you're from, and also let me know if you bought anything in the sales. I'm going to be doing that today once I turn my microphone up. Do not adjust your set just yet. Hang on, give me 1 minute. This one. Testing. Yep. Yeah, check 1 2 1 2. That's better. That's better. Okay. I keep playing with my settings. I'm gonna stop doing that every time. Yep. Yeah, so today I thought have fun, a nice casual thing. I'm so busy trying to get videos done, so I'll be here for an hour, but I thought we could talk about any sales that we found. Of course, as always, I don't like to encourage spending, but if you found any good sales today or this weekend, feel free to share them, and maybe some people will find that helpful as well. So let's say hi first of all before we get into that. Lee, how you doing, Lee? Good evening, Aaron, everyone in the chat. Good to see you. Thanks for moderating. Appreciate it. That's great. Texas Beach Bum 99. Very nice. You're in Galveston. Galveston. That's a song, right? I should learn that. I've been learning a lot of his songs. I should learn that one. Galveston. David. Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing, David? Good to see you again. Been a while. Roy, how you doing, Roy? Nice to see you here. Rosanna's also moderating. Good to see you, Rosanna. Hope you're well. And Graham's here. How you doing, Graham? Good to see you here. So before I went live, I was working on a video. You know, it took me a while to post the review of the Hi-Fi Duet because I really wanted to try it for a while. Also, I felt like I had done a lot of, basically done my review anyway. I've done loads of videos on the Hi-Fi Duet already, but I wanted to do like an official video sort of summary thing before I send back the guitar behind me. Best going back tonight to LR Bags. That's a great guitar, by the way. You know, it's not just the fact it's a great guitar. I've often found that Adirondack and Mahogany is a great sounding guitar, and that's a sloped shoulder made by Bourgeois. I keep saying bourgeois, but it's Bourgeois. And the other thing about that guitar is that it's like 15 years old, and it's been gigged and toured and taken to trade shows and demoed and experimented on. It's really aged really nicely. So that's a great guitar. I love that guitar. Check those out. But I tell you what, over the years, I've played several Addy and Mahogany guitars, and they've all been exceptional. That's a great combination of woods. Actually, the guitar you just heard in the intro on my song In Between, that's recorded on a Goodall. When I was younger, years ago, I bought a Goodall Dreadnought, which is also Addy and Mahogany. And I still have that guitar in England, and one day I will bring it here to America. I kept that guitar because it's on that album that you just heard. But the point is, a lot of people are saying about this pickup system, how it doesn't sound as good as the Anthem. And what I've decided to do is a supplemental video, which I'll put out maybe tonight, where I'm going to show if you EQ the two pickups with a tone match, they basically sound the same. And I know that some people don't want to bother with external EQ. They want to plug in and go, and that is a valid point. But I just think there might be a group of people out there that are interested in this new Hi-Fi Duet because there's nothing under the saddle, because it picks up more body sound, because it can sound naturally more natural straight in. I don't want them to be put off this pickup system because they feel it's not as punchy as the Anthem, when a few tweaks of EQ could make it sound the same or very similar. So I'm going to put that out as a supplement. That could have been in the main review, but I was just kind of surprised how many comments I had about that. Oh, it doesn't sound as good as the Anthem. And I'm not trying to say I'm not going to say if it sounds as good or not. I mean, it's a different sound, but I just want people to be aware that they can, in case they don't know. I'm not trying not to be, I don't want to be patronizing here. I'm not trying to do that. Just want people to know that EQ is, I feel, is underutilized. And while it is great to have something that you can plug straight into anything that sounds great, and if you find that, good for you, that's awesome. But there must be a group of people out there that could get the closer sound they want with EQ, even basic EQ, that are not doing it. And I think it'd be good to make people aware of that, that can be achieved. I have to say, I don't tend to use EQ because my Cole Clark has EQ on the guitar. But I'm not against using it, and I do have it in my Voice Live 3 Extreme, so I can use it. And when I use an amp, I use it, or I turn the knobs on the amp. So I just want to make sure people are aware that they can do that, in case they're not. So actually, this is a good point. Now, I love those. I love the OM28 Modern Deluxe because it's got those gold frets. I was looking at some recently, but the ones that I've seen lately are not visually to my taste. But here's a good question for you then, Texas Beach Mum. You've got the Duet installed on the OM28 Modern Deluxe. So, okay, what blend are you using on the blend wheel? Like 0%, 40%, 60%. What are you plugging it into? Are you plugging it into any EQ or processing? And then are you doing any specific EQ to the pickup? This would be really useful information. If you wouldn't mind sharing, I'd appreciate it. Zach, how you doing in California? I tell you what, it got cold here. I got a gig every night this week from tomorrow, and I don't even want to leave. You know, nothing against the gigs I'm doing. I don't want to leave the apartment because it's so cold. Gonna have to wrap up really warm and take care of that gear and those guitars. I just like to stay in when it's cold, I have to admit. Okay. What is your opinion on European Spruce, like on the CEO 10? I played European Spruce recently. I like it. I feel like it might be a bit brighter sounding, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I really like lately is Addy and Rosewood and vintage spec. Like I showed some guitars a few weeks ago on Sweetwater. Oh, they're so good. I'm going to do a video about them at some point. I've got such a lot of videos to do. I say that every week. They just keep adding up. And I add videos like I'm going to do this EQ thing tonight. If I put that out, it's another video. It got jumped ahead, but I just feel like I have to as a supplement to the review that I just made. I think that's an important topic to talk about. But yeah, I like it. But you know what the thing is, Lee, like with these woods, like you might get a piece of Sitka that sounds brighter than a piece of Euro Spruce. You might get a piece of Euro Spruce that sounds brighter than a piece of Sitka. You might get a piece of Addy that sounds better to you than a piece of European Spruce. You might get a piece of European Spruce that sounds better to you than Addy. I think these guitars are a sum of their parts, you know. I don't think just because you have one thing on them, it makes them like just, I mean, a terrible guitar made out of Brazilian rosewood is not going to sound amazing. But an amazing guitar using Brazilian rosewood on the back and sides could sound amazing. Could sound bad, could sound amazing. I really believe that from all the thousands of guitars that I've played over the years now. So I'm not against European Spruce, and I feel like it may be on the brighter side, but only in the limited experience that I've had. So I'll leave it at that. Mississippi Blues, how you doing? Hi from the UK, that's great. I just snagged a Taylor 512 CE 12th fret in the Black Friday sales. Great, from Toman, great. Do you have a good acoustic preamp you recommend? Love the channel. Thank you. I mean, I've covered so many acoustic preamps. It's got the point now, Mississippi, where it's just like the pickup thing. You know, you need to tell me where you're playing, what you're plugging into, what songs you're playing, because there's a million preamps on the market. And some of those preamps are in other pedals that may suit you. Like if you tell me you're a singer that does solo gigs, then the best preamp is going to, in my opinion, is going to be one of the TC Helicon vocal processors that is also a preamp, because then you have the other stuff as well. If you play guitar and don't sing, then I wouldn't get that because you don't need that stuff that's in it. And I would look at something like, I mean, you could go high end like the Grace, or I'm just trying to see what you have. Does that ship with the ES2? If it ships with the ES2, I might look at something like an IR pedal or an EQ pedal to shape that ES2. Many people hate on the ES2, Well, let me tell you again, you can use EQ to fix these problems that we hear. Not everything. You can't fix everything with EQ. So if you find your pickup has too much handling noise, you can't EQ that out. But if you find that this pickup system is on the bright side, or you want a bit more punch or cut, then I would look for a preamp pedal with a really good EQ built in. And many EQ pedals have preamps as well. If you like to dabble in different effects, check out the HX Stomp from line 6. That's a great pedal. And you've got your tuner, your EQs, your reverbs, your delays, your phasers, everything in one pedal. But I really need to know more about what you're trying to achieve. Hey buddy, how you doing? Good to see you here. Roy bought some battery-powered uplights by Ape Lads from Thomann. Do you guys bring your own lights too? So I don't tend to, because I travel light, pardon the pun. But I did buy 2 little square lights recently from Amazon very cheaply. They're actually pretty good. I used one behind me at a gig, and it really set the scene. It really lit up the backdrop nicely and just changed colors occasionally. I do think if you can take lights to a gig, then you should take them. They add a lot, and you're creating your own stage, right? Many venues don't have a stage with lighting. And it's one, you know, you can't really take a stage, but you can stand there and put lights up and set things around you in such a way that it appears like a stage. I really think if you can take lights, then you should, for sure. So good job with that. Jack Stowe, how you doing? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to try using a set of Stringjoy Brights on the AEG one. I use Stringjoy Naturals on most stuff, and Brights lighten the tone. I tried Stringjoy once, but years ago, and only one set, and I didn't use them again. But again, that was years ago. I'm sure they've changed them since then, and there's lots of different sets of strings they make. At the minute, I'll talk about strings. Actually, I'll save that because it's in the things that I bought over the weekend. So I'll come to that in a minute. But yes, strings can make a huge difference to feel and sound for sure. Rex says, yes, the EQ video. Appreciate your external condenser mics reference when comparing various acoustic pickups, even though live needs will differ. Yeah, I do get frustrated though, Rex, because everyone always says, well, I like the microphone the best. That's not the point. The point of the microphone is simply to show what the guitar sounds like through a microphone. You know, it's like showing someone a picture of someone professionally taken with a DSLR at a wedding, and then showing them one taken with a handheld camera through a piece of cling film in front of it, you know. Hey Ray, thanks for subscribing. It's not even comparable. So a mic is not a pickup, and a pickup is not a mic, especially when that microphone is outside the guitar. And to this day, no one yet has made anything that will recreate that sound the way they have like with electric amps. And I hope they do it one day. And I'll talk about that in the video at some point as well. But the best thing you can get from a pickup is reliable, repeatable, robust sound. And then it comes down to feel and personal choice. But check out the video that I'm going to post. If I post it tonight, this Can I EQ the Duet to sound like the Anthem. Check it out with headphones. I think you'll be really surprised that a 10-band EQ can basically make them sound the same, even though the guitars are completely different. You know, if it's not really to sell you on the pickup, it's really just to open your eyes to EQ. That's what I'm trying to do with that video. And I'm going to say, you know, EQ, you can't take an undersaddle pickup and make it sound like a 3-source pickup. You can't do that. But you can take 2 pickups that are similar, because the Anthem and the Duet, they both use microphones, they both use piezo pickups, they're both dual source, they're both gathering a lot of information from the guitar. They're close enough that when you EQ them with a 10-band EQ, they can basically sound the same, in my opinion. But if you took a magnetic pickup and a Cole Clark, you couldn't, no. I mean, you could get it closer with the EQ, but you can't make it sound basically the same. But I'm getting frustrated because I feel that the Anthem and the Duet are more similar than not. And I think a lot of it comes down to EQ. So I'm not saying that they're exactly the same. I'm just saying I just want to throw this into the equation, this EQ thing, because I don't want people to not choose one over the other when they could have EQ'd it differently. That's all. I hope that makes sense. We'll see. But 40% using a Fishman Pro. So 40% blend, that's what most of us are using. So that's good to know. And I do find you've got to be specific, though. I do find you've got to basically go through and find the exact point where it's not too boxy and not too piezo-y. So that might be 40%, that might be 44. Someone laughed at me when I was on the live stream and said, you want 47.5. But that's actually not such a stupid thing, because there is a sweet spot for every guitar. So maybe 47.5 is the sweet spot. So there we go. That Fishman Loudbox flat EQ. Because when I use the AER in the demo review, you'll see the controls on the top of the amp. I had the treble boosted all the way up in that one. So. But again, we all want to hear different things. Maybe you want to hear a warmer sound. So that would make sense. Lee says, got to agree on Addy. I found it sounds nice. Yeah, I really like the idea of maybe next year getting Addy. I mean, those Sweetwater specials, but they do a triple O and an H and a D. I'd like to get the OM version or an M version. I'm not sure about M. I'm kind of in between on those. Maybe the OM full scale, OMC, or an M, or maybe crazy and get an MC. That would be kind of wild. Not sure I'd ever use it though. But I really liked those Sweetwater special guitars. They're really cool. I'd like to make a whole video on them actually. We'll see. The good news for me, well, bad news and good news. January, one of my venues is refurbishing, so I'm going to have a lot of spare time in my hands. Then for a week, I'll be at NAMM anyway. So for 3 weeks, I'll have a lot of time in my hands. So it's either go to the gym every day, lose 50 pounds, and get my life on track, or make a YouTube video every day and catch up on those. So obviously I'll be making YouTube videos. All right. Gary, what's up, man? Good to see you. How's it going? Uses Chauvet Freedom H1 battery lights. I've seen them. They look amazing. Check out Gary's lights. They look great. But then again, his whole stage looks incredible because he's got enough guitars to make with him to make a stage anyway. I take one guitar. I'd like to take two. I think it's good to have two with you. But Gary's stage is probably the best I've seen. He also plays nice venues with nice backdrops and doesn't play next to bathrooms like I do sometimes. They add a lot to the backdrop, but not to illuminate me as the performer. Cool. You're going for the moody look. So you should take a spotlight to put on yourself as well. Justin, how you doing? Good to see you. Do you still do solo gigs with your... I never did a solo. I did a live stream with it when it first came out. I've never done a solo gig with the Quad Cortex. I still use the Voice Live 3 Extreme. I have been dabbling with it lately. So my Quad Cortex, don't get me wrong, I love it. I'm now using it as my audio interface. I'm actually using it right now as my audio interface. So I could do something like... Let's do something fun here. Pitch. I could do something like pitch shifter. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, my name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
So I'm using the quad. No, that's not why I use it. I'm using the noise gate. Here's the noise gate off. I got fed up with Universal Audio's approach to software, and so I'm really getting my money's worth now from the Quad Cortex. I would use it in a heartbeat for a band gig. The new update, I also will make a video about that. I'm all talk. The new update just came out the other day on Thanksgiving. Has an amazing deluxe 64 amp in it, which I love so much. It's such a good model. And the looper is great too. Yeah, if they just added a few more things to the Quad Cortex, I would use it for my solo gigs. And I'd like to speak to them about that at some point, but it's just not going to replace my current rig. I mean, my current rig is so dialed in right now, I'm not willing to make a change. I feel like while you've got regular gigs and you're getting tips occasionally, then why change it, right? Why change things if it's working? That's one thing that I refuse to do. I'm not going to start experimenting with gear at my gigs that pay the bills because can you imagine if I did some crazy experiment at a gig and it went wrong and I lost the gig? So, but anyway, to answer your question, no, I don't, but I would do. And if it's got the features that you need, then I would use it in a heartbeat. I love the Quad Cortex so much. And one day I may switch to it if they add a few more features that I need. But highly, probably my favorite modeler, highly recommend it. Great audio interface, great for recording, portable, gets better with every update. The looper is really cool. And I hope to do another live stream with it soon. I'm not using it tonight because I'm trying to keep this to an hour, but I will. I've been playing lately in the live streams, which is cool. Have you tried the Boss 82? Let me see. Boss 82. Now I better jump over to show you what I've been buying. In fact, let's do that now. Let's jump over here. If you like the stream, give me a thumbs up. It all helps. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. It's all helping a lot. Thank you very much. So, desktop. All right. This is the 82. I've tried their multi-effects that has this stuff built in, and it's pretty good. I don't mind it, but I still preferred the TC. So, this has their acoustic resonance, which works pretty well. And ambience, I guess that's like a reverb, right? And a notch filter. Yeah. You see, I would rather get something like the bigger Boss pedal that has all that and the harmonies and the looper in one. Because for the sake of 3 times the size that, why not have 10 times the features kind of thing? But if you don't need those features, if you'd like to have this, I would give it a try. It works as a mute as well. Nice. But if you're going for this as like your only preamp, I wouldn't do that. I'd look for something with more. I'd want an EQ. I'd want, personally, I'd want an EQ. I'd want more features. I'd rather save up a bit more money and get something with more features myself. But if you already have a preamp and this is just an additional thing, then yeah, give it a try. So the first thing I bought, which I don't think was on sale, was another SM58. And that's because I mentioned before, I've been running karaoke, which is going really well. I really enjoy it, actually. Don't hate me for it. But these are nice, these Shure microphones with the on-off switch. And the amazing thing is I find that the other singers just turn it off, which is great because they keep putting it in front of the PA speaker. And I keep thinking, oh no, it's gonna howl, right, with feedback. But I noticed when they finish singing, they just turn it off, which is great. I didn't even ask them to. I've not had anyone yet, knock on wood, not turn it off. So I love these for that reason. They're durable. They sound decent. They're not. I wouldn't use them as my main microphone, but for what I'm using them for, they sound decent. I don't share a mic at karaoke. I always give them one of these. So I have my microphone, which is the Sennheiser 935, and I give them this one to sing. Well, last week I could use 2. So I've ordered another one. Right now they are $11 off. So I got another one for $98 plus tax. And it's just great for that kind of thing. If you're doing an event where people are going to be talking on the mic and then handing it back to you and they'll be doing speeches throughout the day, this is a great option because it looks nice, it looks classy, it's not too expensive, it works really well, and the on-off switch can be a lifesaver. Many people don't like on-off switches because if they're doing a gig, they might forget to turn the mic on, things like that. Sound engineers don't like them for that reason. They're worried that people will turn them off and they can't turn them back on remotely from the desk. But if you're running the sound and you've got guest speakers and singers and you want to be able to shut that off quickly in case it is feeding back, then having the on-off switch is really nice. So that's the first thing that I got, the SM58S, and the S stands for switch. Steve, how you doing? Something else I bought was, so I just did the Hello Kitty guitar review of the Squier, and I made a comment that the Squier sounds excellent. Well, for that reason, I also ordered the Squier. I was going to get like a regular Squier because I want something that's comparable to the Hello Kitty, but Amazon had a deal. I think Steve has reviewed this guitar actually. So let me just see if I can find it. Amazon, it's a $99 Squier for beginners, because people at my gig that I do during the week every Tuesday and Thursday often ask me what guitar to buy, and of course the first thing I say to them is get yourself a $1,000 guitar, because that's what I would want to inspire me to practice on. And they always say to me, no, I'm spending that. And I always say, well, what are you going to spend? What do you want to spend on this guitar? And they always say 100, 150. So right now the Squier Fender Debut series, which is definitely a beginner's guitar. Right now, this is amazing. On sale right now, 17% off for Cyber Monday, $99.99. So I'm going to review this guitar. I'm not going to return it. I'm going to review it and then sell it locally to get some of my money back. because I'm pretty sure a guitar like this will get a lot of views. A lot of people want to see a guitar for a beginner. I know a lot of YouTubers have already reviewed this guitar. I kind of wanted to throw my hat in there as well and try it out. And what I'm interested with this is it anywhere near the quality of the Hello Kitty Squier? I don't think it will be, because it's a fifth of the price. So really, is this guitar out of the box good for a beginner? Because I was thinking, like, as a beginner, you probably don't want to get a guitar and then have it set up. So the setup on a beginner's guitar is really important. Like, this thing needs to come out of the box, you tune it up, and you go. Because if it comes out of the box with high action or buzzing, you're probably not going to want to play the guitar, right? So that's going to be in a video at some point soon. It's kind of gone to the back of the list, but I wanted to get it while it was on sale. So if you know someone's looking for a beginner's guitar in America, $99.99 for a brand new debut guitar. So that's the second thing that I ordered. Rex says, I was surprised how good the internal mic sounded on your last comparison. Me too, actually. And using it 100% was okay. So I found with the Hi-Fi Duet that you can use many options. You can use just pickup, 40% mic, 100% mic blend. It really depends on the sound that you're going for, Roy, make some YouTube videos at the gym talking about music. John Berry, hi from DC. So glad I discovered this channel. Oh, I'm glad you discovered it, John, because if people don't watch the videos, well, why would I make them, right? Yeah, it was nice. The video got a nice comments yesterday. And, I know it's called a review of that pickup. It's by no means the be and end all. Like, I don't believe in reviewing a piece of gear and I'm done, because we can discover things. That's why I want people to subscribe and follow this along. Maybe I'll discover something. Like, even if I post this thing on the EQ, that's supplemental to the review that I put out yesterday based on people's feedback. So, please do follow along with what we're talking about here, because new things come out all the time. Opinions change, experiences change. The main point of that video yesterday was to show you what it sounds like recorded direct, and also through the amp. And don't forget, no one ever talks about this. The great thing with the recording stuff direct is if you have something like an eVerse 8 that has Bluetooth, you could Bluetooth my video through the eVerse 8 and then hear it through your speaker. And that's why I don't add EQ to my reviews. So don't forget you can do that. I don't think a lot of people even consider doing that. And that's quite a cool way to try stuff. I don't do it, but I would do if I was shopping for something. Steve, good to see you. How you doing? John, what are you using nowadays as your gigging guitar? Still the Cole Clark? Yes. I've been playing the Duet guitar. I've been playing the AEG. I really like the AEG Torrified the most. The reason that I can't switch out the Cole Clark is that it has, first of all, I always say I travel light. That guitar is only 4.5 pounds, which is awesome. But also, it's got a satin finish, and none of these other guitars have a satin finish. And if you've seen me play live, I use the satin finish for percussive effects. I told LR Bags they should consider either making a satin version of the AEG or leaving a portion of it exposed as like a scratch plate, but they didn't do it. But there we go. So that's why I use the Cole Clark. But yeah, my current stage rig is the Cole Clark, the Voice Live 3, and the eVerse 8. But that's not to say that I haven't had issues with those things. The eVerse 8 forgot all my settings a couple of weeks ago, which is very frustrating, but still a good product, just don't use the memory system. Kevin says, I put Martin strings on my Martin guitars, makes Martin guitars sound more like Martin. I kind of agree. I don't believe that whole thing of like Martin guitars should use Martin strings and Taylor guitars should use Taylor strings or Elixir strings, whatever. But there is something about those Martin Phosphor Bronze lifespans that works well on Martin guitars. Yeah. I've tried to go across to the XS that I love on that guitar, on those guitars, and it sometimes is good, but the Martin strings just seem to work with the Martin guitar. I can't explain it. So that brings me on to the other thing that I ordered, which was from Strings and Beyond. Probably bought too many strings. But they're 15% off right now. So I went on this site over here. And based on our conversation we just had, the first thing I bought was the Martin Lifespan. Because I am still using them. I don't need more, but I really like the pack of 25. So for $200 minus 15%, I got 25 sets of strings. They arrive like this, just like a retail pack. A little bit of a hassle to get them out one by one, but I figured out, I've got used to it now. So there's no, when I first got them, it kind of annoyed me, but now I'm used to it. So $200 minus 15% divided by 25. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. So I got another set of those. And then I also went to XS. Now XS also do a bulk pack similar to that, where they're in like a big box. I didn't get them for those. I don't know why. That would have been cheaper. I did the pack of 3. Let's see here. Where are they? I did the pack of 3, and I bought several of them. This one. So $53 for 3 sets minus 15%. Yes, they're expensive, but they also last me a long time. I use these on the gigging guitars, and they last me a long time. So I don't mind them being a bit more expensive. And I like the strings too. I like how they feel and everything else. So that's a good place to buy from. They just shipped out today. Lee said, are you still using Ecamm Live? Do I need software like that if I want to do a live stream maybe once or twice a year? No, because you're going to spend money on it. You can go live on YouTube. You can just hit go live and it just does it from your iPad. That's how I did it from NAMM in January. You just go live from the YouTube app. I wouldn't spend money. I love Ecamm, but I'm using Ecamm to record my videos. I'm using Ecamm to do these live streams. I wouldn't want you to subscribe to Ecamm every month if you can use it twice a year. It wouldn't be worth it. Steve said, I just sold my classic Vibe Strat tonight. My son was upgraded to a Levinson blade. Nice. Yeah, I hadn't really, I'm sure I've played Squiers over the years, but not really paid any interest to them whatsoever. I'm far too much of a snob. But I really like the experiences that I've had so far. I probably shouldn't have gone for the cheapest one. I think I want to cover that as a guitar that people want to maybe learn on. I also have a friend or a colleague that wants a guitar. So I made this, I was going to say give it to him, but no, I might sell it to him very cheap. I think that'd be a good one to cover on the channel, but I think eventually I'd like to try the higher end classic vibes. Yeah, just to throw some other options into the mix for people rather than just the Surs and the high end Fenders. Steve said, nice. Did you get the Sunburst? I did, because it was the one on sale. The red one, I like the red, but it's $20 more, $30 more. Probably would have kept it if it was Sunburst. There you go. Debut Squiers are Amazon only, right? Okay, so the debut models are Amazon, and I think there's another name for the model they sell on Sweetwater, but I can't remember what it is. So I saw that in the video at some point, but they're not on sale, I don't think. So the reason I went for that one, Steve, is because it was $99. Although by the time I make the video, it's going to be back to 130. So I'm not going to say to people it's 99. I'll say if you get it on sale, it could be 99, but normally it's around 130, which is still a very good price. Although I guess the Harley Benton that I got a few years ago, it was a pretty good guitar as well. More of a vintage spec guitar, and this is more of a thin. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know if it's a bit more modern. But the Harley Benton was a bit too vintage, I think, for some beginners. Roy, I have problems with the SM58 with on-off switch. Using the TC Helicon Voice Live 2 auto gain. Turning mic off pushes the gain up. Right. Interesting. Right. So what's happening is you've got the auto gain turned on the microphone, and when you turn it off, it's not hearing any gain, so it's cranking the gain. And then when you turn it on, that gain is still cranked and it's feeding back. And then when you and then vice versa. So that makes sense. I wouldn't use the auto gain for a start. I would turn auto gain off. That will alleviate that issue. And yes, as with everything, nothing is perfect. I probably wouldn't. like I said, I wouldn't use the SM58 with the switch if I was using it for my main mic for my Voice Live 3 Extreme. I just wouldn't. The reason I want the one with the switch is for other people. I want other people to be able to turn it off. Like if they're standing across the room and suddenly there's horrible feedback, at least they have a button they can quickly switch it off. And I haven't got to jump over to the mixer or something. That's this for me. It's more for others. For my own mic, I don't think I'd ever have an on-off switch for the reasons that you've mentioned. And in case I forgot to turn it on one day or something like that, it could be useful, but it's another thing to remember in the chain, right? The Mic Mechanic 2, yeah, it's basically the same thing as the others, as the Voice Live 3 Extreme. It's setting the gain automatically. Justin, I had spent 2 weeks with the Hi-Fi Duet in my guitars. Okay. I did EQ through my quad Cortex, okay, and did comparisons with my sound engineers and the mix of full band versus Anthem. Please do your EQ vid. Great. So can you tell us any more? Like, you say you had spent 2 weeks with the Hi-Fi Duet. Are you happy with it? Are you not? Did you find an EQ that worked for you? Was there anything in particular you had to do to make it sit for you? Yeah, let me know your thoughts because it will help me out. You EQ through the quad Cortex. See, quad Cortex is great because it's got all those bands of EQ in it. You could load 5 EQ blocks and have all those bands of EQ. So something that I would do, and this is what I'm going to do in the video. You know, say you've got a guitar, say you've got an Anthem in a guitar, and you're very happy with that plug straight in, right? The first thing you could do, if you're technically minded, is plug that into Logic and record it direct, okay? Then you take that pickup out and you install the Hi-Fi Duet, right? Then you record the Hi-Fi Duet straight in, maybe at 50-50 blend or something like that. And then what you do is you do an EQ match, and then you write down what the EQ match says the differences are. And you just basically manually put those in. If you don't know how to make an IR, you could just manually type those in. So type in those 10 settings to your quad Cortex. And you're basically going to get the same sound. It might not feel exactly the same, but it's going to sound basically the same again. So that's not a bad idea for anyone that's on the fence and has the access to technology and likes to use technology. You could do something like that, just so you've got like a safety net. And then over time, you'll probably find that you get rid of that and just dial in your own settings anyway. But that's really what I'm getting at with the whole EQ thing. Lee said, those string packs are great value, but I'd put a silica gel pack in them when you open them. Yeah, but I've already got one that is open and they're fine. I actually had some problems with the Dario strings last week. I had to change 3 sets of strings on 3 guitars that I was selling or reviewing or whatever. And the high E, the ball popped off the string. Like just went flying off for no reason. That's annoying. I mean, sometimes you just get bad batches of strings, right? Now, I'm sure if I sent them into the Dario, they would replace them. But I just threw them away and just hope it doesn't happen again. So I think I might, with that batch, I might regret that. I hope I got a different batch on the next ones that I get. Or maybe it was user error. I don't know, maybe I was feeling aggressive that day and pulled them too hard. Steve said, I don't blame you. I grabbed the Debut on Prime Day for 109. So is that what it is? So right now in the UK, are they £109 and then $99 in America? Is that right? Steve and I have a problem. Everyone that watches Steve's channel wants to know what the price is in dollars, and then people that watch my channel, I guess, want to know what the actually no one asked me what the price is in pounds on my channel. I just talk in dollars because a lot of people don't know that I'm in America. They think I'm in England. I'm not. I'm in America, and so I talk in dollars. But people don't seem to mind that. But I have no idea like what Amazon in the UK are charging right now for that guitar. I assume they're doing the same deal, right? It would make sense. So Justin said, I found myself cutting out 450 to 550. Right. Because with the Duet, because of the way the pickups are situated in the guitar and the style of pickups that they are adding warmth. You see, a lot of people would say to me that the Anthem was too honky in the mid-range and they would EQ out the mid-range. Right. So now you've got the Hi-Fi Duet, which kind of naturally doesn't have that mid-range honk, but people are used to it and they want it back again. A bit like how an electric guitarist might dial in their mid-range to cut through a band mix. So I really believe you can EQ either to sound like either. You could EQ mid-range out of the Anthem and boost lows to sound more like the Hi-Fi Duet. You could EQ some low mid and boost some 1K on the Hi-Fi Duet to sound more like the Anthem. And that's really what my video is going to be about. And we'll see if people agree or if they think I'm full of it. Thomas Moore, been having noise issues, click sounds in my Fishman Aura Spectrum. Can't reproduce it at home. Guitar, the Boss tuner, the Fishman Aura to Fishman loud box, the DI out to amp or PA. So the thing to do with any sort of noise issue is to isolate it. So first of all, find a different speaker and plug your guitar straight in. Right? Is that fine? Yes. Okay. Now plug it into the Aura into that speaker. Is it fine? Yes. Okay. Now plug that into the Boss tuner. Is that fine? Okay. Then check each cable. Are the cables all okay? Give them a shake. I've got a bad cable here at the moment. Do it one by one, and you should isolate what the problem is. I felt like that I had a problem this week with the Quad Cortex. The in-ear mix, the headphone mix was hissing, and I realized that there's several gain stages in the Quad Cortex. So there's a master volume for your headphone mix. There's also a headphone level. So I had that cranked, and that was adding noise. So I brought that down to where I couldn't hear the hiss, and then turned up the headphone level. And that gain staging got rid of that noise, which is cool. Fishman hasn't been able to help, but I tried 2 different pickups. And when I try at home, it's really good. You know, the fact is, if at home, if it's fine at home, then it's not Fishman's fault, right? So I understand that. So then you've also got to test the equipment at the venue as well. Maybe the venue's equipment needs fixing. Yeah, I hate troubleshooting stuff. It's a hassle, but it has to be done sometimes. With the exchange rate at the moment, if you have a friend in the USA, it's worth getting stuff sent to the UK marked as a gift to get a great price. Yeah, as long as you don't get found out. Or fly over, Lee, and buy stuff here and then go back. And then you can visit. Thomas Moore, I've had to take the Aura out of the chain. Any suggestion? So if the Aura isn't working at the gig, but it's working at home, that doesn't make much sense. So, I mean, I can think of a few things. Like, at the gig, are you going XLR out from the Aura, but at home going line out to the amp? If so, you need to test the XLR out at home as well. And then at the gig, you need to test out that input with something else as well, because maybe it's their input. So maybe try a different input or a different mixer at the gig. You've got to take out all the variables and figure it out. You know, maybe you can buy another Aura and take that, and if that's fine, then you know your Aura is faulty, and then you could ask Fishman if they can repair it. Or worst situation, you might have to just buy a new Aura pedal. So that's how I would do it, one by one. Justin, for me, it did a good job mimicking the mic it was modeled after, but it was a bit brighter than I like. The Anthem feels warmer. See, interesting. People are saying that the Hi-Fi Duet is warmer and doesn't cut as much as the Anthem. But the other thing is, it depends on the guitar that it's installed in, because the guitar makes a huge difference. Now, some people say the Anthem is a quiet system. I had an OMC a few months ago that came through here very briefly, where the Anthem was the loudest pickup I've ever had in any guitar. It's just the way it reacted with that guitar. So that's one thing that I can't really comment on, is the guitar that we're installing these into. The guitar we're installing into and the way they're installed is going to make a difference as well. Had once the same problem with Aura on loud stage with subs under it to use a pedal board. I did isolate it. It is the Aura. So what's actually happening then? Noise issues, click sounds. Could be interference at the venue, in which case that indicates the power supply. So try a battery. The Aura takes battery, right? So try a battery in there and don't plug it into power. That's another thing you can try to see if it's the power supply. If you're using a power supply with these pedals, you want to be using isolated power, not the one spot type things. Lee said I might have to fly to buy more guitars. Yeah, well, you can buy all mine. It's fine. I'm ready to sell it and move on. Happened to different venues. Right, but another digital pedal with the same power supply may have the same issue. So I would say if you like the Aura pedal and what it's doing for you, then I would buy another one with a return policy and try that. And if that works, then I would try to have Fishman fix the old one and sell it on. This is what I would do, personally. If you're not happy with the Aura, then you may as well get rid of it and try something else because you're not happy with it anyway. Justin says, for me, the hi-fi is brighter. Bringing in mic will need some work in that 450, 550. Anthem was more plug and play, naturally balanced. So, you see, that's not what I'm hearing from other people. I'm hearing from other people that the hi-fi is duller. And some are saying the Anthem's more plug and play if they like that more cutting mid-range sound. And some people are saying the opposite based on their tastes. So the other thing I've heard with the hi-fi is the hi-fi can sound bright if it's not positioned correctly on the bridge plate. Then it can sound brighter. So that's why I said earlier, a lot of it's to do with the install as well. I see the benefits of hi-fi duet with tweaking. Personally, for me, and just what I would do, what I would like the most, I never liked the idea of the element in the guitar. And lately, I don't think it really makes a difference to the guitar. But it's still in the back of my mind, and I'd like to get rid of that. So I would have the hi-fi duet, nothing under the saddle, a nice bone saddle in the slot, correct fit and everything. I also like that the hi-fi duet picks up more body sound. I like that personally. Not everyone would do. And then I would use EQ to shape it to sound more like the Anthem. That is what I would do. But if someone out there likes the Anthem and doesn't need to EQ it and doesn't want to change anything about it and doesn't have a problem with that element in their guitar, then they should just leave it, right? Roy, I had some clicking sounds as the DJ was playing loud music, and as soon as I picked it up from the ground, it stopped. Oh, okay. So it could be, it's obviously movement, so you need to try shaking it. And then maybe one of the jacks is loose and the shaking is making the jack wiggle around. That sounds like it could be that. Or the power. One of those jacks could have gotten loose over time. I heard a rattle the other day, and it was the strap button on my guitar. And luckily I carry a screwdriver so I could tighten it up. Lee says, click sounds like maybe a bad connection, picking up AC noise. Yeah, it sounds to me like something's gotten loose over time. Because we often forget about that when we've got these pedals on the ground and we're playing in a noisy place and the ground is moving, right? It's vibrating. So it can work those things loose. Same with guitars. It can, as you travel around, the jack can get loose on the guitar and it can start to cut out or even fall out completely. So you definitely want to check your pedals and guitars as the weeks go by and make sure everything is tightened. So you don't get a nasty surprise. And also, yeah, carrying a multi-tool around with you in your guitar bag is a really good idea. I have one that has all different attachments on it. And one of those is a screwdriver. So I was able to tighten up that strap button. What you don't want to be doing is going up to the venue and saying, hi, have you got a screwdriver I can borrow? I mean, you can if you have to, but it's obviously best if you don't have to bother them. With the fact my pedal board is on carpet and the gigs is not make a difference. Carpet at home. Yeah. Well, it sounds to me like you've already diagnosed the problem. It sounds to me like your pedal board is on a stage. The DJ's playing, it's shaking the pedal board, and there's some loose connections in that pedal, either inside the pedal, which you need to open up to look at carefully, or the connectors themselves, and you need to tighten them. And then next time that shouldn't happen. Whereas at home, you've not got that loud shaking from the subwoofer, and you're on carpet, so it's not happening. Sounds to me like you just need to service that pedal. Now, I don't want you to open up and electrocute yourself. I don't want you to open it up and void the warranty. So I would probably call Fishman and say, hey, could you take a look at this and just make sure everything's working as it should be, please? And if they won't, and you feel comfortable, then I would check the connectors and see if anything is obviously loose. Lee also correctly says, make sure that the jacks are not dirty. Yeah. So you can get some spray, some special contact spray, and spray them out as well. All right. Did I buy anything else before I do one more question? Oh, yes. One more thing. I did order the BeatBuddy again because I want to try it with the quad Cortex. And they're on sale. And there's also a special anniversary one that I really wanted. It's black. I thought it looked nice with my board. So I guess I did order a few things that I didn't need, like most people do. How could I resist an email from my friends at Singular Sound announcing the special edition, limited edition, limited, you got to buy it, it's going to sell out. If you don't buy it, you're going to miss out. He said, no, he didn't say that. I just thought this looked nice next to my quad Cortex, black and gold. And then my plan is to MIDI this into the quad Cortex looper and see if I can make it sync with a looper. And if I can do that, then I might talk about it. Might see if they'll sponsor a video about it, because they've been sponsoring everyone else's videos. So I might say, do you want to sponsor one for me? And I'll talk about how to use it with the quad Cortex, but only if it sounds good with the quad Cortex. I really wish the quad Cortex would add a metronome feature. So my plan is to use this as a metronome with the quad Cortex, and also as a drummer, basically. I used to have one years ago. It worked very well. It worked well. So I want to revisit it. So this is the anniversary one, kind of on sale, and I like how it looks. I think it looks cool. But that's it. I didn't buy anything else. What's that? That's only like $1,000 I spent, right? No, awful, terrible. But there we go. That's going to be my Christmas gift to myself. And no one else mentioned buying anything, so I guess you're all just much better than me and didn't buy anything. So good on you all. You did the right thing. But I think maybe you're just not telling me what you bought. Lee says could also be a dirty socket, and clean inside the jack with a Q-tip and some alcohol. Yeah, do that. I mean, if it's an old pedal and you've been gigging with it, the chances are that it's dirty. The contacts are dirty. He also says, make sure you disconnect for a few minutes to let the capacitors discharge before cleaning. Yes, and anything that happens to you or the pedal is the responsibility of Lee K and not Aaron Short Music, okay? Mikey, how you doing? Good to see you. I see you got a guitar there. Good to see you. Boomer's here. Good to see you. Roy bought a new multi-cart. Yeah, rock and roller carts are very cool. I have one that I'll use for a band gig. It's a lifesaver. Very cool thing. Now, there was a thoughts on strap locks. Okay, I've got thoughts on strap locks and retainers. Let's go with strap locks. You need to use strap locks because I broke a guitar this year by not using them. I have found the best strap locks for me, and I'm going to show you what they are. D'Addario. Let's see if I can find it. There's many options for strap locks, and many of them are very cool and worth considering. Some of them will be a hassle, some of them will damage your guitar. The one I found that I'm now using that I absolutely love are these Flex Lock strap. Look at this. I love these. You know, I love these. They're simple, they're cheap, they work. And I was using the Fender ones, which are just round rings. These ones have a little tab, because with the Fender ones, it's really hard to get them off. You break your nail, get them off. These ones have a little tab, so you can pull them off really quickly if you need to. Absolutely brilliant. If you haven't got these on your guitars and you use a strap, you need to buy a set right now for $4. And yes, I do have links to Amazon in the description in my videos. But you need to get these so you don't ever break your guitar. They're simple, they're affordable, they're easy. You can take them off, you can reuse them. Absolutely fantastic. I would never play a gig without these on my guitar now, because I don't want that to ever happen ever again. So make sure you order those today. Have you tried any of the Mackenzie and Marr guitars? I have not. I missed your comment. What did you say? Oh, whose comment was it? Don't see it. Sorry, I'm confused. But the answer is easy. No, I haven't. I haven't. I didn't see the comment, Rex, and I haven't tried them. Lee's trying to buy stuff, but Rosanna won't let him. Very good, very good. That's the way it should be. Don't be like me. I'm out of control. Don't do what I do. Do the opposite of what I do, and you'll be good. All right. Gas has limited me buying for the moment. Too much gear, drowning in gear. Hi, Aaron. Do you happen to know Hi-Fi Duet's weight? Can't find it. I did. I can't remember. If you email LR Bags, they can tell you. I think it's the same weight as the Anthem. It's not heavy by any means at all. So I wouldn't even worry about it. The battery is probably the heaviest thing there. And you've got to have a battery, so. But it's just a few ounces. But yeah, email them and ask them. They'll tell you. Rosanna, I was thinking of buying the Bose Ultra Open earbuds. Nice. But you didn't. Mikey says, good. Bedoin says, I just bought a cart. Yeah, those carts are really useful. Per Caleb at LR Bags. Okay, great. The Duet is, yeah, the Duet is so, and that hi-fis are so light that I don't even think about it because that's how light they are. But he says, if you include the battery, the system weighs around 5 ounces. Without the battery, it's 3.5. Obviously, you need the battery, so. Yeah, the battery in a guitar is the heaviest thing, and some batteries are heavier than other batteries. Lithium batteries tend to be lighter. But 5 ounces, I mean, you know, 5 ounces. The thing is, the lightest pickup you could probably have is the K&K passive. And even with that, yeah, that thing's super duper light, but the jack, the M-pin jack in the K&K is still going to weigh an ounce or two, right? So even the lightest one at the K&K is going to be 2 or 3 ounces. It's got to be with the jack output. So, well, maybe not 3, but let's say 2 ounces then. So 2 ounces. So for the sake of a few more ounces, and you get the battery and the controls and all this and the preamp and everything, I think I don't even worry about it. I'd only mention that in the review if it weighed, say, a pound. If a pickup weighed a pound, then I would mention it, or half a pound, I'd probably mention it at that point. But for me, that's very lightweight. And the benefits of having a pickup in the guitar outweigh, pardon the pun, that 5 ounces for sure. Roy says, I'm getting stainless steel frets on one of my Taylors based on your thoughts. Really? Oh my goodness, why are you doing that? I've never actually done it, Roy. I was just talking out loud. But I did like them. I did like them a lot on the Maton that I had. I didn't keep the Maton I had because it was the woods were a brighter wood. It was a signature guitar. I wasn't using it. I loved the feel of the stainless steel frets. I've actually got a video about. Let me rephrase that. I may have a video about stainless steel frets coming up in the next week or two, which you'll be very interested in. But now you've stressed me out, because what if I say I don't like them anymore and you've already gone ahead and ordered them? So there we go. I should have a line at the start of every video. I take no responsibility. My thoughts are all my own. I'm kidding, Roy. I'm going to be reviewing a guitar with stainless steel frets. My Sures have stainless steel frets, and I absolutely love them. I would not want to go back, so I don't see a problem. The problem is some people, like Lee and some other people, have said to me in passing that some stainless steel frets can change a guitar for the worst. And that's why I have to revisit them again so I can prove these people wrong, or hopefully not right. No, I'm kidding. I read so many comments from people that haven't tried stainless steel frets on Acoustic that say they don't like them. And I read so many comments from people that have installed stainless steel frets on Acoustics that like them. But a lot of this stuff is psychological. It really comes down to what you think. Sometimes it's best not to read forums and things, because you might read some posts where people say, oh, I don't like how they sound on an Acoustic. And then that might influence how you think about it. Whereas if you hadn't read that post, you might be fine with them. So try to keep an open mind. The good thing is you're used to your Taylor, so you can help me out with this. You know what that Taylor sounded like before. So when you've got the stainless steel frets installed, you can then tell me on the live stream if you like them more, less, or the same. The problem with me is the handful of guitars I've played with stainless steel frets came with the stainless steel frets. I did make it clear in those videos when I've talked about stainless steel frets. I have never taken a guitar that I'm used to and had stainless steel frets installed. And until I do that, I don't really have an opinion. Not because I can't. I don't know what it's like to get used to a guitar and then refret it with stainless frets. That is what I need to do to really know if I recommend them or not. But I love them in my electric guitars. I loved them in the Maton when I had it. I had no problem with them in the close guitar that I briefly reviewed. So I don't have a problem with it, but I have read where people don't like them for whatever reason. So I'm interested to know what you think about them. And if you can wait a week or two, you'll have some more thoughts from me on them as well. But if you've already gone ahead with it, then let me know what you think. Oh, Lee says I have to refret my D45 with stainless now. No, seriously, I will have some more deeper thoughts on stainless steel frets coming up soon. I did try the modern deluxe guitars. I think those gold frets sound great. Sorry, feel great, sound great, whatever, you know. So, like I said earlier, a guitar is the sum of its parts. So maybe frets do make a difference to the sound of a guitar. Maybe your guitar sounds too dull and the frets make it sound perfect because it brightens it up. I don't know. You know, these are scientific experiments that I haven't yet done and probably never will do. But that's what someone needs to do. Like Martin needs to take a guitar, keep it in a humidity and temperature controlled laboratory. They need to put fresh strings on it and measure the frequency of that guitar exactly as it is. Then they need to refret it with stainless steel frets of the same size and weight and height. Put the action back exactly where it was with the same strings again, and then do the test again. And then they can tell us sonically if it makes a difference. That's the only way. Now, the feel is very different, and that might jar you to start with, because stainless steel frets, it's really easy to bend and your fingers kind of slide around. I think that's a good thing. But that might be a bit weird to start with. You might think, oh, it feels really different. It probably will do. But try to embrace that. Like if you do string bending, it's going to be a good thing. It'll be like glass. And they'll never get stained. They'll never get scratchy because they're stainless, right? So for me, these are all positives. There's no negatives here at all. But I can understand why some people don't choose them. Roy says, I've done it on my Fender Telly, changed the sound, but I love the feel and the pros of needing less care, and to me the sound is very subjective. I'll reserve judgment until a couple of weeks. Have you tried Evo Gold? So Evo Gold frets are no longer available. Martin are now using Stu Mac, well, they don't say this, but they're using gold frets, which is probably Stu Mac gold frets. Why? I've tried them, I like them a lot, but stainless is even more durable. So on your gigging guitar, why not go full stainless? I don't know why companies don't put stainless steel frets on the first 5 frets, because that's where we play the open chords, right? They're the frets that die first. Fire and ice stainless. I mean, for the money those guitars cost, they should have stainless steel frets from the factory. I'll just say that. Yeah, I like the idea. Oh, I really want to show you all something, but I'm not going to. I really like the idea of a guitar coming from the factory with stainless steel frets already installed and plecked, ready to go. I also like the idea of it coming with a hi-fi duet, or I mean, I'd really like to see a version of the Cole Clark pickup that can be installed non-destructively into a guitar like a Martin. For me, if Martin sold a cutaway, I mean, I was looking at, I look every night for guitars, and you cannot find a Martin cutaway. I mean, there's one right now on Sweetwater. I'll just finish with this. There's a Martin cutaway on Sweetwater right now, but it's $15,000. And it doesn't have stainless steel frets, so I wouldn't want it. But why there's so few? There is actually a nice one on Musician's Friend, but there's so few cutaway guitars like Martin's that come ready to go. I don't understand it. Like, look at this, absolutely stunning, but $15,000. Now, I'm not going to say it's too expensive. I'm sure it's a great guitar. I'm sure it is. And it's got that Swiss spruce that we were talking about earlier. So this will be one for Lee to buy. But this is like one of the few guitars right now I can find new that is a Martin with a cutaway. And it does have the Anthem, which is cool, but it doesn't have stainless steel frets. I don't know why they don't make a standard guitar, which is a cutaway GPC or an M or an OM with stainless steel frets and an Anthem, a hi-fi duet, or maybe a version of the Cole Clark system. Why not, right? Look at that, that's nice. Why is it so rare? There must be so many people that want a guitar like that play gigs, play open mics. I really don't understand it. And it's something that I'll talk about more into NAMM, into the new year. Probably something that I'll pitch to some companies myself, because why? You know, why not? We'll see. Of course, I might change my mind on all this in the next couple of weeks, but if I don't, I'm definitely going to ask companies why they don't do it, because I don't get it. I bet there's people watching right now that if Martin released an OMC with stainless steel frets and a version of the Cole Clark pickup with no holes in the guitar, it was just plug and go, sounded great on stage, great acoustically, felt great, frets lasted forever. I bet there's people watching this episode right now that would go and buy one. Or maybe it's just me. All right. So Lee says, I burn through frets, would like to have them from the factory. Right. Right. Why is it so rare? The only guitar that ships with stainless steel frets is the Maton Joe Robinson guitar and most of the carbon guitars. Like, the only wooden guitar that ships with stainless steel frets that I know about of any kind of mass scale, like from a regular factory, not a boutique builder, is the Maton Joe Robinson. I think it's absolutely crazy. Boomer said GBC 11E. Yes, but there's no stainless steel frets on that. That's the problem. Right, I'm going to wrap things up. I have to go and ship a guitar that I sold. I have to send the guitar behind me back to LR Bags. I have to see if I can make this EQ video for tonight. So before I leave, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell. It all helps. Thanks for watching my videos. It all helps, of course. If you're bored tonight, watch some more. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you can see when I post a video, because I don't really have a regular schedule apart from Mondays at 4 p.m. EST. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this in the future, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you bought anything in the sales, if you found any good deals on anything or missed out on anything. Dale bought a Line 6 HX Stomp XL for $589 from Pro Audio Star. Great. Supposed to be new, but same price they use for list. Yeah. Well, Pro Audio Star often lists things as open box, but they're actually new. They're just moving stock, which is cool. That's a very good price for that. And they've got a new update this week as well, which is worth installing. Rosanna, thanks for moderating. Lee, thanks for moderating. Always appreciate it. Don't burn it out with all those gigs. I know, I'm not complaining, because then things will get quiet the 2 weekends after that. And then in January, like I said, going to get much quieter. I'm going to have some downtime to do videos. And I've got a pile of stuff behind me to do videos on, which is, so it's actually going to be good, I think. And that's going to take me into NAMM. I'll be there for the whole week. So that should be a really good build up to that. So I will enjoy myself. You enjoy yourselves too. Subscribe, ring the bell. Thanks for watching. Take care and be well. Don't buy any more things in the sales. Bye-bye.
sixth string today. Vintage wood, shiny frets, strumming blues while the sun fades. All these guitars can't help myself. Why can't I quit this ever-growing need? Oh man, goddamn, bought another sixth string today. Vintage wood, shiny frets, strumming blues while the sun fades. All these guitars can't help myself. Why can't I quit this ever-growing need? Sneaking inside, just another piece of art, a new love to find. Strings humming with a history, each one with a tale. From the first touch of the strings, my soul sets sail. I see the look in her eyes, another roll of the dice.